It is an authentic taste of England right here in Metro Detroit. Zingerman's Cornman Farms in Dexter has a pie and mash pop-up shop. We're so happy to have our friend Kieran Hales, executive chef and owner, here with a preview, and you have the studio just smelling so good. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you again.
Always.
It's really nice to get chicken tikka smells in the kitchen. Yeah.
I know, it's never too early
It's never too early for that.
So that's what you're making, one of my absolute favorites that you do.
Yeah.
So let's get started.
Yeah, so we're going to put some shallots in the pan. So we've got some oil, and then we've got pumice oil in there. So that's that last dregs of the last pressing the oil, so you can get the oil really hot in there. We're going to saute it for a few minutes, then we're going to add some tomatoes, some cream, and then our spice mix. So we've got about 8 different spices.
Okay.
And we actually grind them up into a coffee grinder. So that tiny, like, $20 little coffee grinder, you get them super fine in there, and so those spices will get toasted up.
Nice.
We'll add all those in. So as that's going, I can tell you a little bit of the history of the pie and mash shop. So pie and mash shop for us was one of the few traditional foods that was in London. So it was where you could go and eat for cheap, and so when I started in London I was 13 and a little poor, and so that was one of those wonderful places I got to go and eat, and you get like that huge pie to be able to feast on at the end. So it's kind of a great thing. So we're going to add our spices, and we'll get our cream in there and a little bit of chicken stock.
I love it. Just very simple. And what are some of the spices that you have in there?
So we've got coriander, turmeric, paprika, salt, cumin in there, ginger, and then we're actually thickening with a little bit of cornstarch. So that's not that abnormal, especially in Indian food in the UK. We usually add it as a thickener. And so that'll cook down for about 5 to 10 minutes. What we haven't done, and this is the magic of TV, we've got one we prepared earlier, is that we're going to be marinating the chicken. So it actually gets marinated in a yogurt mix with the same spice mix. We've got some lemon and lime zest in there, and garlic as well. And so we'll let that sit overnight, and then we roast it up. So we'll beat that together and put that in, and it'll come out like that, which is just ready to eat. You don't need to do anything more to it. But what we're going to do is add it to that sauce that we have just got on the stove right now. And then we'll blend that in, and then we'll add ourselves our cilantro. So we've got a nice fresh chopped cilantro. We're gonna add that in, and then we'll fill up our pie for us.
So fresh. I wish you guys at home could smell this.
It's a pretty good place to eat.
Yes. My mom uses the coffee grinder too.
Yeah, these things are great.
It's great.
So then we've got our pie, so we've lined it already. And so one of the great things is you serve vinegar with all the pie and mash that we do, and we actually use it as the mold, as the size for the ring, which is kind of beautiful in there. So we'll fill this guy up, and then you and I can crimp this mold up together. And then we can get this cooked up for the crew right after we finish up.
Very nice.
So we're going to put a little water on the top, and then we'll get into it.
Oh my goodness.
Put that top over, pull these together.
You're just going to smush it all together.
Smush it all together, and then we'll crimp it. And if you want, while I cut this up, you can dig into the chicken tikka pie. I know you might be waiting.
I've been eyeing this for a while. The last time you guys came in, I mean, I was really saying, and I meant it, it's really like the best thing
So you just use your 2 fingers. This is one of those things that's hard to explain, and it's just 2 fingers crimping together to make that nice head. And so we use it as like a crown. On the top, so when it crimps up. And so that's where it is.
Wonderful.
They bake for about 40 minutes in the oven. Dig in.
Well, I dig in. I want to make sure everyone knows where to go for this pop-up.
Yeah, so it's going to be out in Dexter, which is a hop, skip, and a jump away from Ann Arbor. It's about 45 minutes from the studio where we are. And you'll be there every Sunday. So not this Sunday, but next Sunday on the 1st of March. That's when it starts up. And it's every Sunday for 6 weeks. I think we're selling like nearly 1,000, I think 500 pies over those 6 weeks.
Well, once you taste it, you know why.
Yeah.
This is the most delicious thing ever. And I love that you're sharing the recipe as well. So I've already looked it over many times.
We're actually producing our book for this year. So there'll actually be a little book when you get them out there, and you'll be able to cook all of the pies for us, which would be kind of cool.
I'm taking another bite. So why don't you let everyone know about some deals too?
Yeah, so if you've got a British passport, you get to pop out there and you get your 10% off. And if you do buy 9 pies, which isn't that abnormal, we'll actually give you the 10th one for free as well. We get a lot of people come out for every 6 ones. It's kind of fun. We've had people come from Chicago, up from Traverse City, some people from Toledo come, so it's kind of a fun thing to get out for the weekend.
Yes, and I'm not surprised. It is absolutely delicious. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Always a great time when you're here. And again, we will post that recipe. Trust me, you'll want to make it on WXYZ.com. Just check the scene on 7 Section. We'll be right back.